To mark our 5-year anniversary, we commissioned a huge landmark look at how men are really feeling right now for the first ever Loose Men's Big Mental Health Survey. We spoke to men of all ages, from all backgrounds across the UK, and it's revealed some eye-opening stuff. Now, get this. Over a third of men have struggled with their mental health in the past year. 27% say they're more comfortable talking about their mental health than they were when Loose Men started 5 years ago, which is fantastic news. But 40% say they're still not comfortable opening up. Is that a surprise, Rob?
No, it's great news, isn't it, that we've made some progress. But at the same time, the reality is, as we sit here, mental health is the largest killer of men.
Why?
In this country.
Why?
A number of reasons, but part, certainly, of it is this inability to talk about it.
And but why? What is it? Is it trust in your mates? Is it being scared that if you open up, if we go for a drink, if we have a little bit of lunch and I tell you something that's really affecting me, is it the worry that you're going to go away and tell someone else?
No, that's a really good question. I think that is the question. And the answer is I suspect you and me could, and I know you could, because we would feel safe with one another, and I think that both you and I and everybody on this panel would feel no shame, but above all else, might have the emotional, in fact, I'm confident of it, the emotional vocabulary to express ourselves and perhaps to walk away feeling heard, seen and a little bit better. For a lot of men, it's just still shameful and embarrassing, and that's the stuff that we need to change. I know a lot of family members that I have, you know, they might talk to one another, but really they perhaps express their emotions through watching football, but don't really get out the things that are most difficult because of all of the barriers there are for men to talk about it. We've made some progress, but not nearly enough to save the thousands that could be saved every year.
It's funny you say that using football, because I think it's Brighton and Norwich have made some fantastic mental health videos recently over the past few years, and they've really had a massive impact. Is it about being in a safe environment?
Do you know what? I think it's not just about being in a safe environment. I think that's one aspect and it's very important. I think there's also an aspect of it where, you know, speaking from personal experience recently, me and a few of my friends were called out by another one of our friends because he lost his mum fairly recently, and his mum's like his best friend, you know. He always looked after her. She was like the main rock in his life, right? So when she passed, we all knew it'd be rough for him. And everyone was, you know, as guys kind of do, and we all knew it really well, we're checking in, but we're like, oh, you're right, mate. And then he gets to the funeral, and then within a week, life kind of moves on. Everyone cracks on. It's like, yeah, you're right, you know. And in my head, I'm like, well, if he needs anything, you call me. If there's anything wrong, you tell me. Like, I'm always here to speak. I'm always here to talk. Like you said, in the last 5 years, we've felt this. I've definitely felt it, this surge that it's OK to talk. But sometimes just being told it's OK to talk, I don't feel like it's enough. I feel like you need to be given the opportunity, you need to be asked, and you need to know you're in that environment rather than it just being there. And he basically said, he was talking to us the other day, and he said, yeah, you know, his mum had passed, it'd been a few months, and he got to Christmas Day. And it was the first Christmas without his mum. And no one checked in, right? And when I think about it now, for me, I'm like, it's Christmas Day, he's having a wicked time, he's with his family, he's doing this, he's fine. But I'm like, obviously, you know, the moment he said it, you go, and you have like this almost deep sense of, like, oh, I need to do better. Like, I genuinely need to do better. And I think being called out on that personally, it's not a thing of, I'm not here to speak to, of course I am. I need to let you know that I'm here for you to speak to. And I think that's a real lesson we should take.
Also, we have the tools amongst us, because a lot of fellas, and I know this is loose men, so I'm going to talk about blokes, a lot of blokes work together. So a lot of blokes have that instant connection to each other, whether you're on the tools, whether you're in a warehouse, whether you're doing something in an office, you're surrounded by fellas. And I think it's just that step of, any chance we could have a word? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Just stepping away, and that trust and that recognition that there's someone at the other side of the site, the office, you know, in the warehouse, that doesn't look right.
There's a lot of fear around that, right? There's a boundary.
There is.
You know, because there's a genuine terror of getting it wrong. And I think so often that's a barrier that stops us from having that conversation and starting with that question that you just really thoughtfully asked, just, mate, are you OK? Don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. Look, I've always struggled with my emotions. Ever since I lost my dad when I was 11, I've always struggled to cry in front of people, in front of my mum and my sisters. I don't ever want to feel a burden. And I don't know how to stop myself feeling like that, but yes, I lock my feelings up inside because I feel like that's how I've learnt to deal with them, and I feel safer that way. Sometimes it comes out of the box and I have to deal with it then. But generally, I don't want to be a burden on anyone else. I feel really privileged. I've got the most amazing life. I've got the most beautiful wife and kids. Like, I don't want to...
Why would you feel like a burden? Is it that sense of guilt that you feel because you've got other good stuff in your life that you don't feel entitled to feel sad, to feel down and even potentially worse?
I think a bit of it is to do with that, and I think a bit of it is to do with, as growing up, I never wanted to show my mum and my sisters my emotions. I didn't want to cry and be the catalyst to start everyone crying because they was all going through grief and stuff like that. So for me, being the only man in the house...
There's an element of you being
the only man in the house, to keep it to myself.
Wow.
And if I wanted to cry, I'd do it by myself. And I just didn't want to burden people. So I feel... And I still feel like that now. Stacey goes mad at me. She's like, just talk about your feelings. And it's just something I've never learnt to do. And I think that is really not a healthy way of living.
This is a good step, though. Acknowledging it is a huge step, I think.
Yeah.
Knowing that, big step.
Do you think there's still an expectation for men to hold it together, that sense in which, you know, crying is a weakness?
With like, men and crying and letting their emotions out, I feel like that's completely where that saying comes from, you know, the silent killer. It's because we are just so reluctant to let people know how we're feeling that we'll deal with it ourselves. And if it's too much for us to deal with, that's when stuff happens.
We've got some brilliant statistics, actually, about crying, because our survey found that almost half of the men couldn't cry in front of a male friend, and that 19% of northern men could cry in front of their mates, compared to 27% of southern men. Because we're harder up north. We drink gravy. That's what it is.
But what is the stuff that makes you cry? You know, it's really interesting. It's not always sad things.
No, you're right.
Yeah, when I think about the last time I cried, I can't, hand on heart, remember the last time I cried for being, like, sad or angry or stressed. The last time I cried was a few months ago because of my daughter. She's 6 years old, and she's got one of them siblings. Her older brother is like, the moment he tries anything, he's one of them annoying siblings, he's good at it. Do you know what I mean? He's one of them. And my daughter is a bit more like me. She's not quite brilliant at loads of stuff, all right? She struggles a little bit more, and her friends, her cousins, her brother, they all found their thing, whether it be football, whether it be academics, no matter what it is, they found their thing that they were good at. And she's only 6, but she was really struggling with that. She kept saying to me, I'm not good at anything, I'm not this, and it was getting her really down. I'm like, you're 6 years old, like, you shouldn't be feeling like this. And she started horse riding with her mum, and she entered her first competition, and she was against, like, older girls, and some of them, like, 12, 13 years old, been riding for years. And she did this competition, and she ended up coming first. And, yeah, right? There it is. The dart, though, because the look on her face, she come running over to me, and I just started bawling, because she was like, I know that you're so proud of me, and I did it. And I was so happy that she was so happy, but it also made me kind of sad at the same time.
Coolest dad in the yard, by the way.
With the changing bag on my back for the baby as well. But yeah, no, that's what made me cry, because she was just so happy. Oh, God,
Rob, are you emotionally outgoing?
Yeah, no, I don't... you know, first of all, I think it's important we imbue everyone with a value. You should worry a good deal more what you think of other people than what they think of you. That's helpful. And certainly, I definitely connect with crying. I took my brother for his 50th birthday to Rome, and we were at this incredible ceremony in the old synagogue there, where a couple were having their 60th wedding anniversary blessing.
Wow.
And they were there with their kids, their grandchildren, and their great-grandchildren, and they hugged one another, and as the music started to play, the two of them having this blessing, talking and sharing with all of us the gift of what it means to have a lifetime with one another in this sacred place. I mean, that was it. I was completely gone.
You're going nuts.
I know. And then standing with my brother going, why are you crying? You know,
I think sometimes, I don't know whether you lot get this, you know when your phone pops up a picture from about 10 years ago? That gets me every time, because it's always a photograph of one of the kids from when they were, like, 2 years old.
I can't look at it.
And I look at it and just think, oh, my God, you realise how fast time goes and how precious it is and how beautiful your kids are. So they're probably more the happy tears. When I look at those, I'm like, oh, I'm lucky.
Do you think kindness makes us cry much more than pretty much anything else, the stuff that really gets you.
Yeah, I think it's collective euphoria gets me. Like, because I like people having a good time, because I think when you see people having a good time, it means that they've put whatever their woes are to one side and they've come together and everyone's smiling. You know, I love weddings, I love family functions, because everyone's on the dance floor, they're all larking about. But I look at it like I'm on one of these big camera cranes, because I like to pull away and take it all in.
Yeah.
And that gets me.
Yeah.
That gets me. Like the recent Oasis concerts.
Yeah.
Collective euphoria was through the roof. And it was unbelievable. And there were a lot of people, grown men in particular, crying their eyes out because it reminded them of the youth. It reminded them when they had no mortgage, no tax to pay. They were just...
No, honestly.
They were
No
just kicking
kids.
about. No kids.
Loads of money!
Yeah, you know. And they were there with the mate and they were shoveling the beers back and they were like, this is what it was like. There were so many blokes crying their eyes out. You know,
Makes me want to cry thinking about it.